Buenos dias, señores and señoritas. Muy bien. For why does he speak Spanish? He doesn't know Spanish. I did not know Spanish, but when I shop at Walmart and that greeter says, Buenos dias, gringo, spin money, I've learned a little bit of Spanish, and I thought I would be multicultural today on the video. Somebody asked me, on that last video I did about the gold rosary, that was a number of videos back, actually. They said, why don't you like Rush Limbaugh? Very perceptive, grasshopper. I think Rush Limbaugh is a disgrace to broadcasting. See, this forum of talk radio was never meant to be used as a political tool of a political party. It wasn't intended to be anything but a public forum where the public could express their opinions. It wasn't planned, it wasn't made, it wasn't created for someone to use it as a big tool of propaganda. It wasn't even intended for a network that would have to tell you that they're unbiased and fair every time they do a news story. And then they do a news story on Obamacare. That wasn't the intention. That is despicable and disgraceful to broadcasting. And you're damn right. I don't like Rush Limbaugh. I don't like how he's marred what's been my life, talk radio. Yeah, I consider myself to be a legend in my own mind. I mean, I was one of the people that built talk radio in the Northwest, doing it for years and years before anyone else ever decided that it was a great moneymaker. We just looked at it as a mirror that you held up against the community, and it showed us what was here. We didn't look at it as a mirror that only pointed at us. Not to be maudlin. Something terrible's happening in the Northwest, right here where I live. You know, the police here, and I used to give the statistics when I was in commercial broadcasting. I gave them all of the time of how many citizens had been shot and how many policemen were shot. And for years, it always turned out citizens 0, police that large number. I started doing it here on YouTube, but then, unfortunately, my ability to watch local news diminished because I normally would catch it on the radio in the morning, but then they would run a Rush Limbaugh promo at 6:50. And it was just something about the nightmare of waking up, hearing our president every day, being badgered. Just something that distresses me about that, because it made me think of how broadcasting and talk radio that I love is being misused, and how the people are being misled. It's the way the right wing does things, though. Look at German history. It's called propaganda. And it just is so distasteful that it starts my day off wrong. And I'm not as well as I used to be. I don't like starting my day out wrong. Not to get off on Rush Limbaugh. I wanted to talk about Obama's speech. And I also wanted to make the point. When you're hearing what is supposed to be unbiased news called Medicare, Obamacare, if you can't figure out that slanting news, even though they tell you that it's fair and unbiased, it's much akin to the Christian telling you that they're a Christian. You should be able to figure it out. Honest news doesn't have to tell you it's honest all the time. I don't know. It really distresses me. I watched Obama's speech. He's a good speaker. Then I watched the Republicans' rebuttal. That makes sense. That's fine. Then the Tea Party comes in. I'm not exactly sure why the Tea Party gets their own rebuttal. But I want you to think about one thing. In television, probably the first class in college when we talk about TV broadcasting, we talk about a thing called a teleprompter. The placement of the teleprompter is paramount of anything else on the set. The prompter has to be placed in such a position that the talent, when they look into the camera, looks into the camera. So back in 1914, I don't know what year, they invented a device that is used in most TV stations that puts the teleprompter in front of the lens of the camera. Picture, lens, camera, intimidating, scary to look at. Teleprompter, looks like a TV set. And the amazing teleprompter can do two things. It can look like a mirror showing you what is actually going to be on television, or it can show you the speech that you must give. So as you read your speech, like I am doing now, and you say, "Friends, believe me, I mean this from the depths of my heart, me to you." You don't know, I'm reading it because I'm looking directly at you in the camera. How much more sincere does this look? "My friends, I plead with you. Believe what I say, for I speak to you the truth." There's a difference there, isn't it? If the Tea Party can't figure out that basic difference in broadcasting, how in the hell are they going to figure out world politics, where the whole thing is a big tinderbox with a fuse on top, when you overlook something as blatant as looking at a teleprompter and not being able to figure it out 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? They never figured it out. They certainly aren't going to figure out running our government. It's scary. There's a yin and a yang. In the Pacific Northwest today, we are seeing policemen being shot. It was only a matter of time. I don't want to say this was foretold in my earlier videos, but it has been. Violence only begets violence. Nothing good comes from violence. You shoot enough unarmed people and let the policemen off, and in the Northwest, it's constant. Every month, somebody else is shot. Some of these people deserve to be shot. If they've got a gun and are pointing at a police officer, then shoot. Any idiot should know that when you see a policeman with a gun, you don't point a gun at him. But what's happening in the Northwest, the police chief, Rainier, Oregon, a nice old man like me, good civic record, father of a number of children, is blown away. A Lincoln City police officer shot making a traffic stop. These numbers are going to grow because eventually that yin and the yang comes to the yang part. The yin part stops. There's a simple solution to this. Violence only begets violence. These people don't get it. You see, they even want to arm school teachers. I have stood in the front of a classroom. I'm amazed that there are fellow teachers who think it makes sense to arm the students and arm the teacher. Now, I know that in the public schools you deal with fewer students. The schools that I've worked in, sometimes I'm looking at 60 to 80 kids in the classroom. Now, if one of those students pulls out an AK-47, do you expect me to pull out my AK-47, quick draw that I am, and shoot him? Shooting into that classroom of 60 kids. Are you people nuts? I took it in the Boy Scouts. If you decide to go on a rampage and you're going to shoot people, look at what you might shoot if you miss your target. Or what if there's a nun standing behind the person you're shooting? Might you not go through that person and into the nun? Or maybe take care of some students that were sitting studying in classrooms behind your classroom? It's insane. Maybe some teacher that's actively teaching now would take the time to take a picture of what you see from your desk when you look out into a classroom of students. Are you idiots actually suggesting that we aim our gun and start shooting into that classroom of students? You people scare the daylights out of me. One other thing, and then I'm going to be done with this lengthy video. Red and blue, Crips the Bloods, Republican Party, red ties, Democratic Party, blue ties. What do you make of that? If you'll excuse me.